Hold up, man, you know what I'm saying? So I be telling these niggas, man, shit ain't the game, man. Shit
Tell 'em,
real.
done.
With the power, you're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the power. You're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the head up above. Activate me. You're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the power. You're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the head up above. Activate me. You're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the power. You're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the head up above. Activate me. You're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the power. You're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the head up above. Activate me. You're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the power. You're gifted with the power, you're gifted with the head up above. Activate me.
We out west with it, where we live illegal, leaning off a leader, riding regal, tipping scales like Libras. Inhale, no L's, pulling out blocks like Jenga. In the rear of a Caprice's Billy Rims, flicking decent nonetheless. Nothing less than tens for the speakers. You'll hear us before you see us with beats that beat the streets up. Yeah. So try and keep up and keep it low key, cuz police try and treat us and keep us on a leash, cuz that's how they see us, thinking we nuts. Cuz we'll die for the ground beneath us, because this land made us, this land made of players that stay on paper. That's how we came up amongst the mayhem to the day when we display what we made of. The game could never change us, the west side teaches. On these streets where you find that D before G. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just got up in a block. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into strength. Smell the grind in the air, take a whiff. Only the nose knows the aroma. Compose the money rolls that fold up, holding cold cups. Searching for those that got the purple O's for the $4. And we can go nuts and stay at the store like grocers, and post up with O's on the table like coasters. That's how the game coached us, made us all in the soldiers. Now that dough is the focus, so know that we own this. Molded by the hood role models, riding good, the latest model, drinking good, raising bottles like we just missed a pothole. You got to know that it's impossible to stop our flow. We've seen it all from watching cops reload 30s a dro while drinking the night away until the block got slow. You'll know as soon as you see us, we the ones laid back in the cut. My demeanor seems to always give me up. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just got up in a block. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into strength. Yeah, home of the survivor, survival of the fittest in the town. It's wicked, you can J down in a minute. What am? What's the business? The biz is how you down to get it. From Cape Town to Fifth City, the sounds of Fifth's empty. When we tipsy is risky, where the lick be at least 10 deep. It tempts me, but there's no mystery. Where the chips be, the tips G. Just our history from the 60s. Pimpin' ain't easy, but we bleed it. This here game is in our veins, in the air we breathe in. Believe this, it's no game, but the key is your mouthpiece spit your game. But believe, turn nothing into something. We suffer without supper long enough. Struggling from summer to summer, the same place where the dope is sold. It's home to the Oprah show, the same place I know is home. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just got up in a block. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir, hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into
notice, the Entourage DJs are taking over the game. The Midwest invasion is here, and the true Midwest mixtape king is giving it to you. It's DJ G-Spot banging your mixtapes right now.
You are now listening to the Myth Mixtape. DJ G-Spot and Mick Lou, Chi-Town's finest. It's definitely representing Southside, Westside, stand up.
Yeah, they honor my persona, see my coat of arms, cloaked in armor, live and die by the code of honor. The honorable, known as Mick the Conqueror, my mantra is that of a monster. My vengeance is endless until you extinct like a condor. What you think I was armed for? I'm knocking at harm's door, molded by the force, call me the Black Mamba. I'm putting up numbers like Kobe in the garden. My thoughts is thoughtless as I talk shit, and there's nothing as heartless as my heart lies deeper than the darkness that dwells where the sharks live. You sleeping with the fishies, or surfing with the marlins. On the surface, I'll unleash the carnage till you surf, till you starving, searching for a market. I'm the pit boss, tally up your losses. Your fate is sealed way before the card flips. You marks ain't shit. Topic of discussion, they ain't talking about nothing. Keep their noses in the sump, y'all ain't talking about shit. I hear them wolfing in the whispers, snakes in the grass. We ain't thinking about your ass, y'all ain't talking about shit. Fucking lying, I ain't buying, ain't nobody even trying to hear that dumb shit you kick. Y'all ain't talking about shit. Find yourself some business, get yourself a life and shit that'll motherfucker. Y'all ain't talking about shit. Unlike the players, y'all engage in betrayal. So brave, do anything for the day they can slay you. So devious, even if you can't even see the hate. I don't need to plead my case till you fleas, I seize the day. Feast off your mistakes from the cleanest of plates. Palate of a pharaoh, it's all seasoned to taste. A vision of perfection, at least 3 in my face. Fanning me with feathers, tease me with grace. I can't conceive defeat, nor will I concede the race to these conceited lames that can't believe my pace. So intrigued by my intrigue and display that intrigues the brain, there's nothing left to say. Hands down, I lure them to attack like cash is the allure of a champion with my banner in the rafters. Topic of discussion, they ain't talking about nothing. Keep their noses in the sump, y'all ain't talking about shit. I hear them wolfing in the whispers, snakes in the grass. We ain't thinking about your ass, y'all ain't talking about shit. Fucking lying, I ain't buying, ain't nobody even trying to hear that dumb shit you kick. Y'all ain't talking about shit. Find yourself some business, get yourself a life and skedaddle, motherfucker. Y'all ain't talking about shit.
Bless the bottom and pass the drink. Bless the bottom and pass the drink. Bless the bottom and pass the drink. Bless the bottom and pass the drink.
Roll with drapers that keep liquor stores tipping. From Rothschild's 111 to Sunset on Division. Prestige, famous liquors know our names when they see us chiefin'. Wang and speakers, we came for at least a leader. Peep the procedure, we breeze in. Ante up like MOP then. Grab what we need and we ain't leaving till we descend. It's yak in the air, I'm fiending for a fever. That rim thing on my pimp game, preach like deacons. I might tell, but with a sample of that privilege, I had a staff grab a half a gallon handle of that vintage XO. Love you dig and we can gamble with them digits. Past the Cavassier, sipping straight till we finish with it. For sure, player, grab about 4 Vegas with bottles and black bags, rotating with no chasers. We gon' player, posted like we in the paint. Where the cups, grab the ice, bless the bottle and pass the drink. Stay posted on the land, getting busted with my mans, with our cups in our hands. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. Taking shot after shot in the car with a bottle out west, spinning blocks. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. You can make mine a double, whether yak or the bubbly, don't matter, just keep them coming. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. It's the Chi-Town tradition. Welcome to my city, let me show you how we kick. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. What you finna do? I'm finna get loose, sip on some booze. If you with it, we can kick as soon as I slip out the booth. We can cruise through the city limits and slip through the loop. Soon as I'm finished, give me a minute, then I can slip into you. Picture the mood, let me get you in tune. It's how we do. I'm a bend, rolling that bluish, ooish, sticky, ooh. We can spin through the window and see what that Remy do. I know a spot on Madison, I got Henny for 22. Let me slip inside you while we slide like listen shoes. Listening to the newest exclusive big glue, the music get you in the mood. In the nude, out them denim blues while we drink on. In between songs like interludes, gotta thanking him a fool, cause I'm trying to see you. In between sheets and covers like interviews. From the news till you reach the pinnacle, seeing sights you never knew. Tonight you ready? I'm outside ready to make that move. Stay posted on the land, getting busted with my mans, with our cups in our hands. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. Taking shot after shot in the car with a bottle out west, spinning blocks. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. You can make mine a double, whether yak or the bubbly, don't matter, just keep them coming. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. It's the Chi-Town tradition. Welcome to my city, let me show you how we kick. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. I killed the corner from a pint I had last night on the corner with bags. To them people was on me flashing they flashlights, but I was on it. I'm knowing they tryna act like they own it, cause they roam in these streets. It's just the facts, right? They ain't on nothing anyway. Any day is tough when you hustling just to get a plate at dinner tables. That's why we drink away pain with fifths, thinking of ways to raise our chips from days on tips to fade and niggas with clip busts, changing shifts or shaving nicks with the blades with the razor tips. I'm trying to stay legit and let my paper lift off the flip from my greatest hits on laser disc. As I take a sip, 2 cups past wasted, a bottle on the way, I can't resist the temptation. I'm already been in the demonstration, of course I'm waiting while the drinkers bless the court with they nation. Stay posted on the land, getting busted with my mans, with our cups in our hands. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. Taking shot after shot in the car with a bottle out west, spinning blocks. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. You can make mine a double, whether yak or the bubbly, don't matter, just keep them coming. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. It's the Chi-Town tradition. Welcome to my city, let me show you how we kick. Bless the bottle and pass the drink. City like the Hawk do, Black Hawk adjustable, keeps my mind thoughtful. Ain't no middleman, I'm the one you need to talk to. If you want a chance, I suggest you make an offer. Making an advance off a hoop, nah, you lost, fool. That type of talk, turn you dogs into dog food. Goofy, you a goof. Get your ass out, move. Acting like a whoop. You softer than a poop dude. Ain't no 50-50, both your options is a lose-lose. I ain't got no love though, laughing while you boo-hoo. I care not for teardrops, the pity that consumes you. Pitiful piece of shit, that's how them dudes do. 415s, fuck around and knock the screws loose. This flow is schizo, your boy gone cuckoo. Yeah, I flew the coop too, you knew I had to get loose. Gun smokes the network, plug you in my Bluetooth. How can I shine if I don't try? If this is really mine, then why must I? Search far and wide, it's so hard to find what I'm looking for. I stay in it, I'm on my shit. I can't stop winning, no, I can't quit till I make it to the top. Till we make the time on the list. Give me my spot, fully aware, living life to the fullest. I'm full of myself. Yes, I earn the right for me to pull it like triggers that trigger bullets. I bully the beat, take dimes from bass lines, snatch fails from snares, smack temples on cymbals, hi-hats beware. It sounds so simple, sounded so clear, so real like Real Madrid. I do it for kicks, yeah. Them scary cats are scarier than scared. Make a pioneer near the top of the tier. On my square ×2, and I ain't leaving till it's square. With a flair so debonair, debutantes gotta stare. Cause I flaunts without a care, carefully with the air of an heir to the throne. All alone in the chair, in my lair where I lay up, laying another gem. Invisible man, then I reappear.
Raise your glass, make a toast. Cheers. How can I shine if I don't try? If this is really mine, then why must I search far and wide? It's so hard to find what I'm looking for. I stay in it, I'm on my shit. I can't stop winning, no, I can't quit till I make it.
Hey yo, my music is addictive to the user. I let the rush soothe them, they tune in, then I school them. They said, homie, this shit ain't real, it's just illusions used to fool men, women and child to confusion. Start running wild, changing views when niggas think they winning. When they
Name Lillard, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
Hey, this is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the Bigs.
I'm Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks.
WIIFTBP.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
Friday, even though it's a little breezy, Gino.
I thought I heard you.
Yeah,
See your mic plug over in the back.
It's all the way in. So, Gino, go ahead, Gino. Can you hear me in the headphones?
I hear you sparingly. I hear you going in and out. You hear me loud and clear, though?
I can hear you clearly. So, Gino, bring us in while we toy with this.
There
we go. Here we go, man. We are officially on the soil. Gino,
yes.
I'm your man, T-Time. What's going on with you today, bro?
What's the Benoski?
Man, Friday morning, man. Our first Friday morning on the soil. About to put the first week behind us, man, at the new time slot from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Ron behind the window on the boards. What's going on, brother?
Yes, sir. What's the word, my boys?
It's all good, man. Getting ready for another good sports conversation.
Ron Rilla.
Got a few things to talk about, man. Our boy Zach LaVine is on the show for a little bit. Going to talk about how it's going to affect the Chicago Bulls and if they even had playoff hopes to begin with.
Stop it.
They were on a 4-game losing streak with Zach.
Was going to be 5 with or without Zach.
And it's the word is he's going to miss the next 10 to 14 days. He's going into COVID protocol. So hopefully he doesn't have COVID, first of all. And on the other end of it, we'll see what shape the Bulls are in when he gets out. But what else, Gino? We got MJ introducing Kobe for the Hall of Fame. We got Eddie George going the Deion Sanders route at Tennessee State. Looking forward to talk about him taking his first swing at being a head coach, and I feel like that's been the conversation around that and if he deserves it.
Yeah.
But, Gino, what you want to start with, man? Let me check your temperature.
Man, it's all good, brother. I'm all good. Blessed and highly favored in the words of Cousin 2. Happy to be here on this Friday morning with the family members. Peace and love to all the family members in the comments. You know we got all the love for y'all. There is no On the Soil without y'all, so we appreciate y'all.
Real family.
I see our boy Chris Williams checking in from St. Louis, man. I told y'all the Chicago Fury are down in St. Louis in the final 8 for the ABA final. So hopefully them guys can bring that championship to the crib. I know if they do, Chris will be an integral part of that championship. This man has been Defensive Player of the Year in numerous leagues around the Chi for a number of years, man. So I want to see those guys, some Chicago team, bring us some
championship vibes.
Yeah, man, somebody. So good luck to the Chicago Fury, man. But other than that, I'm all good, man. Happy to be here. And, man, I'm waiting to see how much, the city is going to go up in flames over this latest Adam Toledo situation, bro. I wanted to know your thoughts on the whole situation.
Man, I hate it. You know what I mean? I was at the White Sox game when I saw the video yesterday. And, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, regardless of if Shorty was running with a gun, because how many videos of these actual American terrorists, you know what I mean, running around with guns, how many times we get to see them, you know, get escorted safely to their cell? Meanwhile, this 13-year-old kid gets a bullet in his chest, you know, before he even gets a chance to know what's really going on. You know what I mean? It's another instance of shoot first, lie about it later.
Shoot first, lie about it later.
They said that this kid pointed a gun at the cops before they killed him. That's a complete lie.
They said he pointed
They said it was an armed confrontation.
The conflicting reports.
I mean, conflicting reports, and of course, I've you know, my timeline is built in a way where I've seen every angle that you could possibly have on this. You know what I mean? And the fact of the matter remains, when this kid, whenever he, you know, started to comply, put his hands up, he got shot. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I seen a video yesterday where they actually.
Which one did you see? Did you go on Copa's website?
No, I caught the news.
Okay.
Actually, and
which news?
It was like some evening news. I think it was CNN or something.
Oh, okay.
But
you caught some world news.
Yeah, but they actually had a freeze frame. They freeze frame.
And that's the thing, because
and they highlighted the area, so they actually show him drop the gun and then put his hands up. So they freeze framed the gun falling. And his arms going up.
There was 3 freeze frames. They showed one with the gun here. They showed one with the gun behind his back. Then
the only freeze frame I saw was
the one with it by his side.
With it by his side and dropping.
That's the only one I saw.
See, no, I saw.
And then his hand going up afterwards.
See, I saw 3. Now that's what they were saying. They were saying that WGN was the only outlet that showed the one that I'm talking about. But I got police homies. We all probably got police homies, but I got 2 police homies that are on Facebook right now, and they're like going back and forth with people. And again, I understand where my guys are coming from, and of course I understand where the people are coming from, but there are those 3 freeze frames where they got Shorty with the gun here, they got him with the gun here, and then they got them with his hands up. So the whole big thing about it is they're saying he had like less than a second, the police officer had less than a second to make up his mind, yada, yada, yada. But it's like, as far as I'm concerned, police training, they've definitely been taught how to work in those situations.
That's always the story when it's a black kid or a Mexican kid. I got less than a second. But then again, we seen Kyle Rittenhouse, homie.
Man, please. That they putting money on his books right now?
Putting money on his books, but he ran right past them with a strap, okay? So I don't want to talk, I'm tired of hearing about these split-second decisions, man, when it comes to shorties, you know what I mean? And I saw the video, you know what I mean?
Because there's a lot of times where they give the white person more than enough, and there's no split second. They be giving them enough time.
Did you see the one yesterday with homie in the F-150?
I didn't see that.
I'm going to let y'all pull that
white
one
truck?
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't, man. I wasn't trying to see no more
Man,
videos
he pulled off with the
that.
police hanging on to the car.
Of course. I mean, it's a plethora of, it's a treasure chest of videos like that.
So,
you know what I mean, that's why I'm not trying to hear it when it comes.
I ain't trying to hear nothing.
You know
Let's
what I
get
mean?
that. Let's get that.
Because real talk, it looked like the Tamir Rice you dig. And in Cleveland, when he had less than a few seconds of life when this cop pulled up. It's like, yeah.
Tamir Rice was shorty running through the field, right? Come on, stop it.
He was at a park playing by
himself. At the park, right. That's what I'm saying. Stop it.
Yeah,
stop it. But this one, so I went on Copa's website yesterday, and they got like all these. I saw that one. So I went through everything available, every piece of evidence that they had available. So the officer that shot, the officer that was on patrol with him, the officers that came after it, the spot shooters sounds, and all of these extra things that they had. So they said Shorty and the homie that he was with was shooting at a random car, some random gang activity they were shooting. So they showed all these different camera angles from the buildings that got cameras on them that were around that area. So they show Shorty and the guy walking. Then you hear the spot shooter pop, 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 pop. Like 7, 8 shots. Then you see Shorty and homie running back past the camera. You just saw them walking, so they run back past there. So I guess that's when the police got the call, because then they got the dude that made the first call saying, man, I just heard like 7 or 8 shots. And they like, where? He's like 2300 Sawyer, whatever the address was. So then that's when the police got the call. So what I'm hearing is, and this is, he say, she say, I'm hearing that Buddy shot the gun. When the police pulled up on them in the alley, because Did you see the other camera? The other lady that was in the car with the police officer that shot.
I didn't see that one.
So all you see is when you see homie hop out the car, he pushes the one you see.
I saw that one.
So
and it kept running towards.
He kept running. So what happens was he pushed him down. The other cop that was in the car with him, she apprehends him. So now she's got him on the ground. Show me your fucking hands. Show me your hands. He like, man, what's happening? What's happening? Now he got gloves. So he got a pair of gloves like right in front of him. And she like, just show me your hands. So she put him in handcuffs. So then I go back to the officer who shot Buddy. So what they're saying is when they saw the police coming, Buddy that was initially took the 7 shots, he gave Shorty the gun and Shorty ran. And then when the police chased Shorty, as he hit that gangway, I guess wherever he had, we don't know where he had the gun, whatever. So I guess he took the gun out, the freeze frame, the split frame was like that millisecond where you get all these different shots. So Shorty basically, he had his back turned, he took the gun out wherever he had it, and he tossed it. And then he turned around with his hands up.
At the same time, we hearing the cops say, show me your hands, stop, put your hands up, barking orders.
So they're saying, why didn't, so a lot of people, so I'm just looking at all the different comments, and people are saying the officer gave Shorty enough time to drop the gun, like, as he yelled out these orders. They're saying he gave the Shorty enough time to drop the gun and turn around with his hands up.
Is that not what the Shorty did, though?
Yeah, that's 100% what he did. And honestly, and I don't want to get into tactics, you know what I mean? But I have to say, isn't it other things he could have did instead of pulling the trigger in that split second? You could have dropped down. You could have got behind a garbage can, like whatever. You know what I mean? He pulled the trigger and killed this kid.
That's what I'm saying. You're taught in police training. You're taught different ways to de-escalate the situation.
Honestly, it's the only freeze frame I care about, G. It's the clear one of the Shorty with his hands up,
and then
facing the dude.
I can't believe that I had to argue with family members yesterday who were trying to justify his compliance. Like, why didn't he turn around?
That's what I'm seeing on Facebook.
Why did
at the same time, he's running away from the cops.
So they're saying he had.
Why was he running?
Why was he first? This is the first one. Why is a 13-year-old out at 2:30 in the morning? I said, okay, see now y'all. That's neither here nor there. We're talking about a 13-year-old kid that was shot and killed by the police. Now
we talk about procedures too, because they said a lot of people are saying they would feel threatened too, because they don't know if he could turn around and shoot, how quick he could turn.
I understand that.
But like T was saying, that's why you should have procedures. You should not be following someone so closely where that could happen, or you should be taking precaution or have some type of
to exterminate.
Yeah, what we've seen plenty of times.
You should have already had cover before you started barking commands. How you telling somebody to turn around before you even have cover for yourself? So you're not even securing yourself.
Hey brother, I've never taken police 101, but I'm pretty sure that they have procedures of de-escalation. And
you feel
threatened, and then why you unsure if you shoot him in the chest,
and if
why
you're
didn't you shoot him in the knee?
If you're unsure of the situation, why are you so close up? Why are you following so closely? Right. You know what I'm saying? If you're not sure if he has a weapon on him or if he could draw on you, why are you so close up on him?
Look, because there's actually really no such thing as shooting to injure, G. If you pull the trigger of your gun, you're shooting to kill.
Shoot to kill.
You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, he could have shot him in his leg. He could have killed him.
He could have killed him if he shot him in his leg. I agree with that.
You know, so the thing is, he discharged his weapon. All it took was one bullet.
So Dave Bryan is saying those commands are conflicting. You want me to drop the gun and raise my hands?
Mm-hmm.
So the only command, the one that I'm seeing from my police homie is, like he said, he gave him ample time from the first command to the last one when he said, show me your hands, drop the weapon, whatever. I watched it a couple times.
And that's also opinion-based, because who's to say what your amount of time, that's enough amount of time? You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't register the same.
And
so
he's terrified.
When you're running,
how you know he's
this is a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So when you're running, he's saying, if you got a gun on you and they're telling you, drop the weapon, then show me your hands.
See, now, but it's still, and then I'm like, okay, well, even if he doesn't drop the weapon, it's not even a danger unless it's pointed at you. And that never happened. You know what I mean? The gun was never raised to the
Exactly,
cop.
it was never raised to you.
But if you see that, if you see that freeze frame, and I don't now, you know the technology is a mug. They definitely got Shorty with the gun in his hand like this, and I'm like, come on now, you know, I don't know how it goes from here
and see now
to here.
We got a break in a second, but we can't forget how the city tried to spend it immediately for 2 weeks.
That's it.
This kid is a danger to, you know what I mean?
But they were saying that the parents of Shorty didn't want the evidence released. They said that was on the parents that didn't want that released ASAP.
But see, they didn't even know, because I think for 2 days they didn't know what happened to him.
Right. I'm watching the video right now as we speak. I never see him raise the gun.
No, you gotta have you. No, that's
like,
not.
But the gun, there's never a gun in his hand like this ever.
I told you about technology, bro. That's what I'm saying. But you got to see it where they got the freeze frame of the 3 different pictures.
Because this is
I'm going to show you on break. We're going to break right now. Break right now. I'm going to show you. Come over here.
Let's jump into the first break, y'all. You're on the Sawyer with the Bigs. We'll be right back.
Yep.
WIIFTBP.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out Chicago
Inhale, exhale, you guys. We're your health home girls, Dr. Tanks Lee and Danny Time. We are being joined today by a guest, Samantha Allen, who's going to work with us today about attachment styles.
Preoccupied, anxious, that's more so a child that comes from a background where the parent or the caregiver was kind of all over the place. You didn't know what you were going to get, so you were clinging to them when you did have their attention, because sometimes I might have it, other times I might not. Because that it creates an anxiousness in the child, whereas when I get your attention, I want to hold on to it. I want to make sure, so I might cry when you leave, or I always want you around. I'm craving your attention. You know, mother-father relationship, the father passed away, now the mother is over busy, she's working all the time, she doesn't have as much attention as she once had for the children, so now this created an anxious attachment style. Those adults grow up more, considered more clingy in relationships, always wanting attention or feeling like I need to make sure we're okay, fear abandonment, fear that we might be breaking up or you might be leaving me alone, so I might check in with you more often, I might call you more. I just need to be assured that everything is okay with our relationship. That anxiousness part is the anxiety of the relationship, of always thinking something might be going wrong. If I called you, you don't answer. Are you upset with me? What did I do? Let's figure this out. Let's work this out. You're always kind of on edge about where your relationship will go.
You get a piece of paper, write down the event, the thought, emotion, and then logic. So in this case, say that your boyfriend didn't text you back. Okay, that's the event. What is your thought? Oh, well, he doesn't care. What's your emotion? I feel unworthy. What's the logic? Well, maybe he's asleep. So you gotta do that. That's addressing some of the symptoms. But overall, you want to engage self-love and self-discovery, right? And just kind of reprogramming your subconscious.
I'm ready. I ain't fucking with them busters, I ain't fucking with them bluffing ass, nothing ass motherfuckers neither. So when you catch me at the show, this shit ain't just for show. So I gave my nigga Lou the Desert Eagle. Then it's right back on the grind. I hustle till I shine. I don't hear no fear, no evil. Make it 40 off a dime, waiting some other time, but the people try to tell me it's illegal. It's illegal.
Admire my brother's keeper, hell nah. Dig ditches, put you bitches in a sleeper. When you see us, keep it moving like the meter. We off the meat. Meet me at the meeting to miss your beat while I'm riding off, smelling like Sunny D. Imperial like the pyramid. As I push the pin again, my experiences appearing Shakespearean. So passes with no interference when I send them in. If you mention him, then you mention in the syndicate. The inventor of that vintage lit. You know who get the busiest? Sawbucks, double nickel, 55th. Look, I'm a businessman. I can't let these busybodies hear me in. Hence, simply put, I put an end to them. You won't risky, come with me. It's done quickly. This is Chi-Town, Joe. The bros and the folks with me. Home of Tao, Coats and 150s. Deep joints, cush jabs, corrupt politicians that run the city.
I ain't fucking with them busters, I ain't fucking with them bluffing ass, nothing ass motherfuckers neither. So when you catch me at the show, this shit ain't just for show. So I gave my nigga Lou the Desert Eagle. Then it's right back on the grind. I hustle till I shine. I don't hear no fear, no evil. Make 40 off a dime, waiting some other time, but the people try to tell me it's illegal. It's illegal. The homies saying fuck y'all, I just wanna live good, but they know I'm still down, so they know I'm still hood. Standing in the sand with the water, but it's still mud. I ain't heard from Sly in the wild, but we still blood. Got locked, came out on papers, he still plug. Northside nigga show me definition, real thug. Southside nigga show the little nigga real love. Family out in California, crippin', man, they real cuz. Homie said, gon' kill the hook, gon' kill the verse. You done killed the competition, go ahead, kill the hearse, and then kill the first. New nigga who figured that he can do your worst. So I murder everything, set him in the church. Your last a fly, nigga. When you get down in the hill, tell him I say hi, nigga. With them goofies and them other gay bad niggas. When you lower in the ground, I'm yelling bad nigga. I ain't fucking with them busters, I ain't fucking with them bluffing ass, nothing ass motherfuckers neither. So when you catch me at the show, this shit ain't just for show. So I gave my nigga Lou the Desert Eagle. Then it's right back on the grind. I hustle till I shine. I don't hear no fear, no evil. Make 40 off a dime, waiting some other time, but the people try to tell me it's illegal.
Difference, friends and associates, the guys in my corner outside who I'm posted with. Not the phoniness, phonies not knowing shit. Squares they come, I swear homie got a fallopian. Bogus with the bogusness, fake ass with your face ass, you too old for this. They some hoes, G, staying up in no ski. Open up they mouths, tongues hanging out they open lips. Distractions, you can lose focus quick. Move with these dudes, shit is damn near over with. I'm the soloist, chilling in the polo fit. Colder than a Soviet, an Eskimo told me this. Yes sir, is appropriate. The potentate flicking like a photo pic. Click, then you open it. Flick so crucial, think it's sweet. Move your feet, the doors open, go ahead. You can mosey in. Desperate desperado when the flow is spit. Gun smoke, got the dopest lick. I know you knowin' this. Far from bars, these liquor stores, yeah, you know it's me. Unwrap the opening before you open it. Then pull up, take sips, I take trips, don't trip. I'm VIP, yeah, I'm on the list. I know they notice this. Fuck it, you don't like it, you can bounce like a pogo stick. Just a dose of this and have you where you
We are back on the soil. Of course, we're having a very spirited conversation over here at the What's In It for the Black People Media Studios. Gino, you just dug into the comments. What's going on over there?
I mean, I see Boosie. Shout out to Boosie. She said, y'all better go back and watch Maze from this morning. Ray Lopez broke it down. It's bigger than that baby. This is about politics. And Boosie, I was definitely on. I caught up with Maze, the Maze Jackson show about 7:20 this morning. So I caught the last hour and maybe 30 minutes, but I went back and watched the first hour, and I get it, man. I get it.
I mean, I get it. It's tough for me to accept it, though, man. You know what I mean? I'm walking with the, if it's eye for an eye, we both lose our sight.
And
You know
this,
what I mean?
and what Maze just said was Shorty living by the sword, and then my mama said, yeah, so sadly he died by the sword.
Yeah, and it goes down. So, but sadly, he dies bad, man.
Oh, yeah. It's a 13-year-old kid.
You know what I mean? Killed by a cop. And regardless of if it's the way, you know what I mean? And I'm not arguing that it is. You know what I mean? We grew up in the same areas. We know what it is. But there's still a cop, you know what I mean, that was in this situation for the thrill of it, low key. You know what I mean? And I can't get with that part of it. You know what I mean? This dude ain't gonna face no consequences for killing a kid. I'm like, nah, it just doesn't sit right with me on that front.
No, that's real. But I the biggest part, and we can move on, is Maya Lightfoot, man. It's like, Joe, she just digs herself into just the biggest hole. She continues to dig and dig and dig. And if she's reelected, which I don't think she will be, then that's a clear sign of what's more troubling than anything.
But something about it that really troubled me too is the him being about that life part, you know, and him being so young, and people say like, well, he was about that life. But it's like, you don't really, I could put myself in his shoes. I remember, and this is no lie, like I kid you not, right up to God, I remember being 10 and 11 and hanging out with my brothers and the older guys on the block, and them literally having me hold handguns for them because they know that if somebody pulled up, they're not going to check me. You know what I'm saying?
Look, and I feel like
I literally remember them holding me, having to hold pieces. So yeah. But at the same time, had a police pulled up on me and shot me, I would, you know what I'm saying? Or me not knowing how to react in that situation, I would have been the same way because I would have been stuck in a situation where I don't know what to do.
Hell yeah. And honestly, we fail. Look, listen, we fail the kid every time we say that's just how it is. You know what I mean?
And it is how it is, but this is America, man. This didn't just start a couple years ago. This has been an ongoing story. This is the story of our lives, man. We've been dealt.
Nah, but see, but at the same time, Ron has a point. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, it's Ron didn't, somebody else put that gun in Ron's hand. But if somebody, if the police pull up,
if the police pull up and see Ron with a gun in his hand.
And then guess what? And then imagine what we're going to hear about you. Oh, Ron pointed this gun at the cops. And don't forget, the things they said about this shorty to villainize him were not true.
What they say?
He did not point the gun at the cops, which is what they said at the beginning of this entire thing, G. Right. Because they know certain things have to happen in order for them to pull their trigger.
And for homie to be able to get on desk duty, go through the trial, and then still get paid and come back.
And honestly, the fact that you're scared after running after the shorty, that's that's not credence to pull your trigger.
So
you don't get to kill
somebody
because you're a kid.
So who failed Ron Rilla when they put the gun in his hands?
Everybody around Ron, Joe. Everybody around Ron. You know what I mean? And the sad thing is that it happens so often. These failures happen so often.
There you go.
But the fact that they happen so often doesn't mean that they're not failures.
No, they're failures.
Exactly. Mugs fail on a regular basis. And if it's politics, it's politics. But I can't accept him just being a casualty in the game. You know what I mean? Because at the same time, too many times we've seen it will be one of us next. You know what I mean? It will be one. It will be somebody in our hood next, Joe.
That's what I'm saying. This ain't.
I feel like what's the Nas line, G? The projects is always saying that somebody got to die. Shit is logic. As long as it's nobody that's in my clique.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like
but
everybody knows the street rules.
Till it is somebody in your clique.
Yeah, Joe. Everybody knows how it goes. They don't make it right. You know.
Yeah, the whole situation is tragic, man. But CPD will reign supreme again. Buddy will be put on desk duty until he gets off, and then he'll go on with his life. And the little Lopez family, they'll suffer for the rest of their lives, man.
Chicago is a wild place where they turn our sports shows, into this. And I honestly feel like this is one of the reasons why you don't get more black people on mainstream radio, because how can you not talk about this?
Oh, it's a must.
You know what I mean? How can you not come into the studio and have this conversation? You know what I mean? I remember when I was at WGN real quick, the painful, this is when Mike Brown had just got killed, and I went into a meeting the next day, and these mugs wanted to talk about Al Qaeda. You know what I mean? As an American threat, I'm like, gee, the cops just left. They killed the kid and left him there for hours in the middle of the street. But y'all talking to me about Al Qaeda. But yeah, Gino, another day in this city.
Yeah, Mays.
They can probably, y'all probably, what's going on?
Hey, tell him to come over here real quick, man.
we gotta hear what's going on. We gotta hear what's going on.
Damn right. I'm coming with him.
Come on,
He
man.
done came in with the headset. Forget coming there from the booth. He came on in the studio with the brothers, man.
I mean, you got some bars, okay? You got some bars, but what's going on, man?
What up, family?
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking this ain't our thing. I'm thinking that it is tragic. Here's what I feel like. I feel like the death of Adam Toledo is tragic. What's the matter? We good? The death of Adam Toledo is tragic, and I want to ensure that watching that video, and I actually never saw the 5-minute unedited until this morning when I played it on the show. And it caught me because I was talking, and then I actually saw the blood and it
Man,
just
crazy.
all of that
Yeah.
in and of itself is shocking. And I think compared to what we saw with Laquan McDonald, we never saw that. We saw the bullets. We saw him shot 16 times. We saw him on the ground. We saw them pumping bullets in his head. I think to see full color up close somebody literally dying that's not in a movie is literal shock and awe. And just watching that, you can't watch that and not be moved. I don't care if it was a 50-year-old, the most terrible person in the world, to see a physical murder, and I'm going to call it a murder, on up close and live is probably just traumatic in and of itself. Because I'm telling you, I was sitting right in that chair and I looked up and he was literally bleeding out and you could see his eyes and
all of it.
And it was, and the blood, and I mean, it was like, whoa. And I didn't know that was what I was showing. Mm-hmm. And it was too late. So to not feel anything from that means you probably are you just don't have any compassion. And I do have compassion for the young man, but I also believe that there are consequences of the game, right? And I don't necessarily think that a 13-year-old fully recognizes the consequences of the life or the game that he chooses at such a young age. And hopefully he or she does not come across that fatal moment and they get the opportunity to grow up and grow out of that. I will tell you that there were times that all of us probably can remember because we have this flirtatious lifestyle with the other side of the line, where we probably could think of a moment where we may have lost our lives justifiably, not because we were bad or terrible people, but because we were indulging in a lifestyle that at times has the penalty of death.
Super repercussion.
And that is why it's so crazy to look at the Adam Toledo situation, because someone in his life was willing to take that gamble with his life at 13 years old.
Uh-huh.
I can't accept that for me. Like when the mayor says that's all of us, that's not all of us. Right. Now, as society and a greater good, yes, if I didn't live in Chicago and I believed in Kumbaya, I probably would say that would be the company line and I would just roll with it.
Well, I'm just thinking about what you said about watching him basically die on camera. And it's crazy how, regardless, because if you've seen someone die before, like one of my guys we grew up with on the block, Slim, he watched him get shot in the chest with a 12 gauge. So it's like it's crazy how desensitized, because I still, even though I've seen that before, like right there, I was watching it on camera as a kid, though, a 13-year-old kid, it was just like, damn, man, like, did it have to go there? But then, like I was saying, my police homies, they've been on Facebook debating for the last 24 hours, and they're all giving these different takes on y'all just don't understand coming from our side. And I've seen my homies, they're fair. When police are wrong, they call them out. But it's got to be a little bias. It's going to be a little bias.
No, it's more than a little bias.
Yeah, it's going to be bias there.
Yeah.
So it was like, I was just watching the comments, just sitting back, letting them marinate. I wasn't on either side. But like T said, it's just like, I mean, I understand what you're saying. But it's just like another police killing of a
human
brown
being
or black. Yeah.
So therein is kind of where I've steeled myself, and I'll tell you, because I think that what you're seeing from me is the dispassionate person that is now not looking humanistically at it. I'm desensitized.
Mm-hmm.
And also taking that desensitization into the political sphere, right? Where we are often leveraged in moments like this, and our pain and suffering and the way that you feel is what makes people then say, let's get with the black folks, and we identify with it because we think they're going to identify with our pain and suffering. But then I also listen to Mike Rodriguez, the alderman, say, yo, we got $37 million for violence prevention over 2 years, and we're going to keep on doing this. And I say, damn, they're about to leverage you and you and you with your watery eyes and you with your frustration, and because we feel a certain kindred spirit to that, not life, but the fact of death being taken and at the hands of police.
And failed policing, absolutely.
And so now this is the time when everybody gets to leverage our pain and suffering, our time to be in front of the dogs. Us, all those years that we've always been the tip of the spear, and they say, come on, y'all, join us in this black and brown, because what has been happening to y'all happened to us this time. And even though we've been saying we want to take y'all land, we want to move y'all off the land, when the uprisings came, they was bragging about the fact that they wasn't going to let no Mayetes come through their neighborhoods, etc. And so now I'm placing, not what you are seeing now is what I feel like black folks have to start doing, which is to be dispassionate about everyone else's pain and suffering until they have the equivalent level of compassion for ours.
See, now then in turn, that means you're making this 13-year-old boy a chess piece.
Let me say that this 13-year-old boy is a chess piece. If you don't think he's a chess piece, then I'm not tripping on you, but I'm saying you're being a tad bit naive, at least politically, right? This whole chess piece of why he's being pushed out here in this narrative. And if you think about Tyshawn Lee and when all that happened, everybody's like, where was his mama? Where was his daddy? Because it's easy to vilify those guys. But if you're building your future and it's predicated, and the white boy, can you imagine if we told the police, y'all come on, it's now y'all can't come on our land, and y'all need to have a peace treaty to come talk to us, and Madam Mayor, and she come on and she kiss your ass? So for me right now, what has to happen is, politically, they have to know that they can't just come in and roll this like, nah, dog, we remember. Somebody remembers. And yeah, we got our guys that are emotional, and yeah, we feel you. But today, this ain't our fight. Today, this ain't our fight. And so we going to talk about it over here while y'all go handle y'all business. Because I don't see y'all at the forefront of none of it. And as a matter of fact, when I see a black person getting assaulted by police, you talk about white cops, but if it's some beatings or some ass kickings or it's usually a Latino cop.
So if he's a chess piece, and just humor me, if it sounds...
I'm with you.
But what is the end game to that? What is the end game to him?
Power, money.
But see, if it's power, then how is not being there or not... And because I'm not the one calling people to be in protests and everything like that, but... What's the end game? Like, is that side coming over here? Is that the end game?
The end game is how the $37 million, if you paid attention to who. Ray Lopez broke it down this morning on our show.
I heard that.
The end game is for these violence prevention organizations who listen to Alderman Mike Rodriguez said on Chicago Tonight last night, we went from $0 in violence prevention money to $37 million. And then we saw, so there's a business built around violence, right? And the end game is for those people who stood up with the mayor to be able to get additional resources to go against those violence, which, again, these violence prevention organizations are financed because there's violence.
100%. They don't exist without violence.
So the end game is to make your agency bigger, and at the same time, while this is happening, black community organizations that fit in those same spaces have to now go to the Latino organizations to get their funding instead of direct. So now all of our, let's just say, and in these organizations that are getting this funding, they hire members of street organizations and make them outreach workers, etc., that then creates a whole economy around having this relationship. Our street soldiers, though now their generals are not reporting to a black person who is funding them, who could at least have the best interest. They are now going to those people who you saw standing behind the mayor. And so when you say, is it chess? It's like chess, 3D chess, right? Because we're looking at the surface level, which is why she can get up and blink and get your eyes tears, and I'm looking at it on y'all faces, right? Like I literally can feel like when you came out and you was talking, and it's like, I gotta be this way. I have to be this way because you feel like you do and you feel like you do. And somebody is looking to take advantage of your sympathy to leverage it to get more money.
We see now, I wouldn't classify it as sympathy. You know what I mean? It's the death of a 13-year-old. How do we supposed to feel after seeing him take one in the chest?
I think, and therein is the challenge of us seeing it, because it happens all the time. I mean, it happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not trip out like 13-year-olds don't die all the time, don't get shot. Like Gary McCarthy said it. He's like, we know the damn shorties that brothers get the shorties so they can hold the pistols, just like they get the brides so they can hold the pistols. And so you're literally putting. When
did South Central come out?
Right, but we're defending. We're pretending like we don't know this happens, and we're pretending like the cop doesn't know this happens, and we're pretending like all of these things, and it all works for the narrative. And I'm with it if we getting part of the chop. But if we ain't getting part of the chop, if $37 million went to one neighborhood and we ain't got none of that, look at me. I feel so bad. That is terrible.
Now, what about this question?
Next.
What happens to the cop that pulls the trigger?
You know what happens to him.
Or to CPD with another bite. So they just going to throw away some more tax dollars to this family?
Here's what I say. I ain't got a settlement for Anjanette Young, so I'm not really worried about that. Like, I can't worry. Like, my mama told me, worry about my business. What's going on over here? We got our own issues, and y'all talk about what's their settlement? I don't really. They already got this.
I'm not saying what's their settlement. I'm saying what happens to this cop.
Let me tell you. I am less worried about what happened to that cop than what is going to happen to the 12 cops that went into Anjanette Young's house. Now, if you want to move the dynamic, if in the black community we allow the dynamic of the conversation to move from what happened to Anjanette Young and her situation to this situation that the family is already cooperating with the city. They done already took care of their stuff. They done already got their deal. That's why you don't see them outside calling mugs to do their thing. Meanwhile, Anjanette Young, who was naked in her house, our Anjanette Young, they got this. They got on TV. They told the police, y'all come over here without getting it straight. Y'all got something coming. We got $37 million. We gonna need more. They got their order, and nobody broke ranks. They didn't come. Ain't nobody over there crying about what happened to nobody black. When our stuff happened, they might show up at the march, a few of them.
You know what they telling Anjanette Young, and this is that bullshit?
What?
You ain't Breonna Taylor.
Okay. So
I was gonna say, you still living.
But guess what? That's what. And if that's us saying that, shame on us.
Oh,
if you saying another, if you saying another 13-year-old, when is it? If it's your mama, and that happens to Anjanette Young, that's what I'm worried about right now. I'm worried about what they got with Lil Man. Man, that's everyday life. If you saw that, if that happened, we would not be on TV talking about we are all Ray Ray. It wouldn't be. It is because it is a clear political calculation. That
statement is obvious. That statement is obviously a political calculated statement.
Exactly. And so if you understand that, right, it's like, I know the game is to get you emotional and to get you feeling some kind of way and your anger. And if I'm the mayor, now all of y'all that was mad about engineer, I done brought this all out. Are y'all over here distracted?
But see, at that point, it's like I can be pissed at those at the same time.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? But no, you can't really, because if
you can.
If I get a 50, right? But I'm betting on you putting 50. If I give you 100% concentration of your energy behind Anjanette Young, as compared to splitting half of it with the Latino community and half of it with Anjanette Young, and then I reward the Latino community, and you expended half of your energy trying to get them to power, and then you spend the last 50% that you got. No, I can't do it. And I'm saying to us, right? I am saying to the world, like with a large platform, like they need to see black people. Like what happens when, like, you know how they had that movie A Day Without Mexicans? They need to feel like the struggle without black people.
Is that on Netflix?
I think it is it's a movie. It literally was. But I'm saying just like the Asian hate. Like, yo, come on now. We know what the deal is with Asian hate. We know what the deal is with the Latinos.
Another one that's definitely not my fight.
So we feel terrible. Like, I feel tragically terrible. But when they turned on the radio this morning, they needed to hear, that's really not our fight. We still ain't got resolution. I mean, how many? Dante Wright died more tragically than Lil Man. I'm just saying. Dude, we just saw dude on camera let off 8 shots at a random car. He was literally trying to commit murder 15 seconds before. It's a travesty that he doesn't know better. But if 8 shots hit 8 people, would we be having this? Because his intent was. And so I'm not tripping, but don't have me run up the hill. Like I could see if you got me. I'm not saying that life is less valuable. But if I'm black, this really ain't my fight. I'm not running up this hill. I'm like, yo, cuz, it's like, your cousins that get down. And if they go down, you feel pain, but you also recognize that they was about that life.
See, I'm less concerned with the fact that he was about that life. And I'm more concerned with the fact that the policing of it is still
proceeding.
It's the risk of the game, though.
But I'm still concerned with the fact that the policing of it is not to see the human. You know what I mean? And if nobody's going to see the human in it, then every shorty in the hood is fucked.
Who saw the human in Laquan? How many of the people? We got all of our own people we got to fight for their humanity.
It's across the board. Like, nobody.
We got the most. We got to fight for our humanity.
It's still the fucking cop sitting in jail was the only one to pull his trigger there. You know what I mean?
This is all I'm saying, T.
I think us being separated like this, I understand, like, we have our community and they have their community. But as long as the blue still wins, as long as we are separated like that.
Yeah, I hear you say that. But it's like
they would kill both of us as long as they still have that power. They can still do it to both our communities.
But the challenge is we don't see that with everybody else. That Latinos see that same way, right? This was a happenstance. Ordinarily, if there was to be a black murder, they would probably participate. I'm not tripping. Like when you watch the jailhouse joints and you see somebody getting effed up or something, it's usually a Latino jail officer getting a black dude getting his ass kicked or something along those lines. I think that we try to pretend like we got this alliance with these people who do not want to identify with us. And
until it's struggle time.
And it's still like.
But see, now I just can't use this situation as an instance to wave a flag, even if I'm not even looking at the.
I'm not waving a flag. Here's me, T. I'm not waving a flag. I'm saying, don't come over here looking for me to be crying. Like I'm tired of wasting my tears. I got too many tears already.
Even those allegiances, man, it don't change the fact that the police need to be dealt with, Joe.
I agree. So if the conversation is about dealing with the police, I'm with it. But if you're trying to tell me,
that's what I'm talking about.
If you trying to tell me,
that's what everybody's talking about.
I don't think that is what everybody's talking about. I think that when with the mayor and all of this, Adam Toledo is all of us.
That's why I said they shoot first, lie about it later.
Her allegiance.
All of them that's a lie. Like, you know what I mean? Yes. Like, so I feel like the consensus is all of that she's saying is a lie.
So when the Latino activists say that he's George Floyd,
stop it.
I'm saying like when you stand, I'm saying they said that he's George Floyd.
It's chess. Of course they're going to say he's George Floyd.
So guess who will not be manipulated?
That's what I'm
saying.
Who
will not be the pawn? We ain't no black pawns. We ain't in this chess game. Ain't no black pawns over here. So
but if it's chess, then of course they're gonna call this kid George Floyd. I don't think that's what nobody on this side is doing.
But if they calling him George Floyd and we in on that,
stop it.
Are you under? Let me ask a question. Was this as egregious as Laquan McDonald to you?
Egregious.
Was this as terrible of an incident as Laquan McDonald? And if you take away the callousness of it, like just the.
I mean, they shot Laquan McDonald 16 times.
Jason Van Dyke shot him 16 times. I feel like he was a killer. You know what I mean? He was a killer cop there. You know what I mean?
Is that the same as what happened to this young man right here?
No, it's not the same.
That's my point. And I don't want to cheapen the value of what happened.
If it's not the same, what is it?
I don't want to cheapen the value of what happened. Does it have to
be the same? Like,
I don't know if it has to be the same.
Does it have to be the same?
I think there's equivalencies, right? And I think that the equivalency, I don't think it has to be the same, but I think I don't want to confuse the equivalency.
Because I just feel like...
Because I did not feel that was a cold, callous murder. I feel like that was a cop making a good, bad, or fucked up decision depending on where you're at. From the cops, it was like we understand.
But that's the same thing Jason Van Dyke said. That's why he said
Jason
he pulled
Van
the
Dyke
trigger
shot
on Laquan McDonald.
Dude shot one time. Dude fall and shot him, and then
but what's the story on that? Before he pulls up to Laquan McDonald, he's like, yeah, oh, it's one of these cats again. I may have to let it go. You know what I mean? It's about the premeditated shits that these cops go into these situations with. So I don't know this cop's name, but it's him. Just like Jason Van Dyke. I just don't feel like it's a flag waving instance, man. This is an issue with cops, not just in Chicago, across the board.
Man, cops reign supreme, bro. Period. Bottom line.
I don't ever recall seeing anyone besides white people who were getting their white guilt on. I don't recall ever seeing the Latino community take up the cause of the murder of any of our people. I don't. I mean, I think we got our sprinkle incidents, I think, but they are often, they have, like Herb and Tu talk about the proximity to whiteness. They enjoy a closer proximity to whiteness and enjoy the fact that they are not us. I think that when you listen to Mr. Baltazar talking, and he's talking in code saying, we ain't animals, we got culture. Mm-hmm. We got dancing, we got music, we got education, we have all of these things, as if to say we don't. There's some truth to that stings. I'm not gonna lie. There is some truth to watching how the Latinos have dealt with this that actually stings. But at the same time, I do not think that the Latino community is looking to help us achieve equality, for lack of a better word.
I'm wondering why it stings you, though, when I feel like the Mexican community, like you said, when it comes to proximity to whiteness, I agree with you. But in that same sentence, they want to be black, too.
No, they don't want to be black.
I don't think
they don't want to be black.
They say they don't want to. They say they don't want to be black, but everything about it comes off as like their idea of blackness to me.
I think that they come off. They want to pilfer the cool pieces of our culture.
Exactly.
But I think that's no different than the white kid in the suburb.
That's what I'm saying. It's one and the same.
But you can love the culture. It's like, and then want to kill the people, and you have the culture to yourself. I don't think that I don't think that Latinos want to be black people. I don't think there's anybody really in the world that wants to be black the full experience.
Right.
They want the rhythm. They want the ability to entertain. They want the ability to dunk. But they do not want.
But they don't want to get. They don't want to have their 13-year-olds killed by cops.
Exactly. But like I'm saying, our 13-year-olds were killed by cops, raped by white men, passed around, brought over the country. Man, we have and this again is another one of those things where I see them trying to merge our narratives. Right? This ain't an everyday occurrence for their community. It's not. This is an everyday occurrence, which is why we identify so quickly with it. But conversely, when it's happening to you, and I think that what you all are exhibiting is who we are as a people, right? Somebody said, because everybody comes from us, we have DNA that makes us love everybody, right? And want to identify because everything springs from us, which I can actually see. I come from a place where, in the politics, where there has to be somebody that just looks at it cold and hard and has to say, no, when I come to the table, this might, somebody, I don't want to say in a general, but in war, somebody's got to be cold and calculating and say, if we're going to win this, we're going to have to take these losses, or we're going to have to be dispassionate about who our enemy is, even though we have individual things on our march to our place. And once we achieve our greatness, then let us be benevolent once we achieve greatness. But let us not let someone else use our pain and suffering as a step stool for us to push them up even further above us and empathize. And then when they climb the ladder, they still stand back and spit on us. I'm going to get out y'all show because I'll be talking all day on this one. But I do appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to communicate. I'm going to just tell y'all also, just realistically, as y'all communicate this story, it's clear the passion that black folks just have in general. And it's for even all of the shit that happens to us, we still always care about every fucking body else. And I'm looking at both of y'all, right? And I'm looking at you tell your story, and I'm looking at you shooting me some daggers out here too. But I think it's important that we have these conversations, and that, again, is why we have the network.
For sure. And I feel like Gene is it ain't. I feel like I always know how Gene feels. But I'm the one, I love to talk about it, so.
No, it's all good with me. It's just funny because all the guys in the group chat said the exact same thing. Like, hey, man, this ain't our fight, bro. I'm out of this one.
Right. It's just.
And meanwhile, the cats with the guns sneak out the door back inside. It's like, nah.
But I'm just saying.
Even if we got to catch them over there.
But I'm saying like this, man. We know that's just because it happened to Adam Toledo, that don't mean for them it's going to mean it's a break. That's not going to happen for a long time. We're going to be talking about some dead black man next week.
I feel you on that because I'm definitely looking at the Mexican community it can happen to y'all too. You know what I mean?
It's a lot less likely, though. It's a lot less likely. They have a lot more perceived value in this world than we do. And it's evident in just how our mayor, man, I'm gonna put y'all up on something that Mark Carter hit me up with today. You need to look at the plan of the Office of New Americans. There is a literal written plan that writes us out of the city's history.
Yeah.
Now that they're executing now, and the mayor put it on steroids. Not the committee. There is a 30-year plan to remove us and replace us, and it's why when you know those things are happening, you gotta just know. Ain't nobody Latino said, no, don't do this. Watch the extermination
I'm
of the
on that
beast.
this weekend.
I'm telling y'all. I'm out, man.
Appreciate
it's the
you,
bigs,
brother.
baby.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, Gino, go watch Exterminate the Brutes.
I'm on that this week. Well, I'm going to be at Wrigley all weekend, but I'm going to find some
watch
time
it at
to
Wrigley.
get there. Yeah, I know, right? The Cubs ain't going to be doing nothing. Ron, do we need to take a break or do we just go ahead?
Let's jump into a break real quick.
Go to the 30.
Because we might have to, because I'm trying, I got to make my way to Wrigley, so we might have to call it a few minutes early, maybe.
Okay,
not too much, but
okay. So I bet. So we'll break now.
Let's break real quick. We'll be right back on the cell, y'all.
Yes, sir.
WIIFTBP. Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing Black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? I'm seeing ghosts in my dreams, in my past. Will it haunt me? Will it last? Will it taunt me? Will my path be no longer beneath me? Under my feet, misdirected as I stand. Cause I wanted what I had, and I had what I wanted. Is my faith being tested? As humble as I am, because I need to see it and touch it with my hands. Am I less of a man unless this lesson was confessions? I fess up like the brand. My plans never went how I planned, never panned out. Now my confidence is in the can. Coincidentally, my spirit is spinning, so spent, cause I spent up everything I had. Real as it gets, this is what it really is. As I stare at my twin, reality sinking in. Over the sink, pray for blessings from the Lord, cause the truth is the truest, especially when it's yours. There's nowhere to go, there's no place to run, there's nowhere to hide. Where you going? There's nowhere to go. There's no place to run. There's nowhere to hide. Where you going? There's nowhere to go. There's no place to run. There's nowhere to hide.
Man, you gotta appreciate a space where you can have these conversations, man. Shout out to the West End for the Black People Media family. Everybody in the comments, letting their opinions be known, letting their thoughts, sharing your thoughts, man. We appreciate that more than y'all know. Thank y'all for rocking with the bigs today. But Gino, we do have a few issues or topics to talk about when it comes to sports. I feel like the first topic on the to-do list is the Eddie George story. Our family member Boosie has been letting us know for a while that that's something that we needed to discuss, and I agree. You know what I mean? We're both HBCU alum, both feel passionately about HBCU sports and the state of it, and honestly, what's going on, especially on the football side of things right now. I feel like it's very special. You know, it's almost like a Renaissance type thing going on, where I feel like in a few years, HBCU football may be in a better place than we've ever seen it, Gino. So the latest news is Eddie George. Is he a Hall of Fame running back, or should we call star running back, X-star?
All-pro. All-pro running back.
NFL running back for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
With Aaron McNair and those guys, man, is the new coach of the Tennessee State football program. It was made official a couple of days ago, and he is the second big-name ex-NFLer to try his reins when it comes to coaching on the college side of things. And, Gino, I know how you feel about how Showtime is over there doing this thing. Snatching up a few big-time recruits. I'm sure that's what Tennessee State has in mind. When it comes to giving the keys to Eddie George, you know?
No, it's obvious that what Deion is doing is shaking things up a little bit. I think it may have even started with the shorties, McCord Maker.
Oh, yeah.
Started
Yeah,
at
to
Howard.
Howard.
And you got the high school phenom Mikey Williams talking about HBCU is probably going to be one of his top choices.
Yeah,
so I think
even on the girl side of things, we've seen big name recruits.
Yeah, so I think, and then having Deion's son, both his sons, one of them is going to be a transfer, and then his son that's a senior now is coming there next year. So just having those things, having these high-profile recruits, swaying away from those Power 5 conferences and giving love back to the HBCUs, I think it means a lot. But
is it a race to the next available ex-NFL star?
I mean, it depends. It obviously it brings a look.
Mm-hmm.
It brings a look to the HBCU, which is, I mean, that's really it's okay. Obviously, Deion Sanders is Deion. Primetime is one of the greatest of all time. So having primetime, like you said, if Deion Sanders came into, you got Les Miles and all these top Power 5 coaches, then Deion Sanders comes in your living room. You gonna tell Deion no?
Gino, what you just said, I feel like is exactly what's going. I feel like behind the scenes when it comes to HBCU football, the football programs are asking their ADs, "How am I supposed to compete?"
Exactly.
With with prime time sitting in these kids' living rooms. It's like, you know what? What's Eddie George on?
There you go.
You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a good thing, man. They're creating competition. And then on top of that, I mean, it's already a heavy task if you're talking about HBCU programs kind of stealing any big-name talent away. You almost have to, if you're not like a Howard, a big-name HBCU, then you probably do have to go get you a big name to associate your athletic program with. I remember at Morgan State, the head coach was Todd Bowles. And I feel like you have to have like a caveat. It's like, oh yeah, he was Jason Kidd's coach at Cal.
Right.
Right. On the HBCU side of things, you can't just come and be like, I'm Nick Saban. I'm the winningest coach I'm the hottest coach in college football right now. You got to be like, no, I'm prime time. I'm Eddie George, or I played in the league or something like that. So honestly, I've seen people upset that whoever was the coach before this kind of didn't get the ceremonial exit. Like Eddie George got hired while he was still there. And they're like, Eddie George ain't never been a coach, and we're throwing out our old coach for no reason. But I'm like, gee, I know y'all didn't win no games with y'all old coach.
They said the old coach, when he first came in, he did turn the program around, got them like their first 6-7 game winning streak, had them at 10-4 a couple years. They had a good amount of winning seasons, but lately things haven't gone as well as they possibly could have. So, I mean, it's all, change is inevitable. And right about now, like you said, with the way things are going with HBCUs and making these huge transitions, acquiring Deion Sanders, now you get a guy like Eddie George, who I think they say in the next couple of days he will announce his coaching staff, and word on the streets is he's going to hire his old head coach, Jeff Fisher. And Jeff Fisher's going to bring in some of his guys, which will make it basically like a smooth transition for Eddie George, because the big thing is, how are you going to hire somebody with no coaching experience, no prior head coaching experience? And it's like,
bring my ex-NFL coach.
Exactly. And this is a guy who, if anything, he knows the game at an elite level. He knows how to adapt. He knows the fanfare. He knows everything that goes into playing. I mean, he came from Ohio State, so this is a guy who played at a Power 5 conference.
Absolutely, and this is Tennessee State, the state where he did
his work
professionally.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? And I feel like anybody coming through that program, you say Eddie George, it's gonna ring bells for sure.
No, I agree with that. But the only thing about it is, and I'm sure Eddie, we know Eddie George. He's been a successful business owner after football. Mm-hmm. So as far as him like continuing to learn and gain more experience while he's going through this, that's the key. Having Jeff Fisher as a backbone, but not letting the fact that you are an all-pro, take over. These are still kids. This isn't the NFL. These are kids. This is what would you call a mid? I would call HBCU mid-major. Mm-hmm. I would call them mid-major.
Oh, yeah.
So these are kids that maybe you have to take a different approach with. You can't just pile it all on them. You have to learn these kids. You have to get to know these kids. These aren't professionals making millions of dollars. So it'll be interesting to see again, because Jeff Fisher is another one of those guys who coached professionals all of his life. So I'm glad that Eddie George has gotten the job, and I'm pretty sure, like you said, he won't be the last. This is just another step.
Nah, it's an exciting time for sure.
That's, to me, all HBCUs should hire former, especially guys who have pro experience who come from those programs.
See, now what happens to the all-around coach then that didn't have the NFL career though?
You can
because they already not getting it. I mean, when it comes to top jobs in NCAA, I'm wondering.
Are we talking black?
Yeah, I'm wondering are we at the same time cutting a way out? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and I feel like that was part of the fear with Eddie George, but at the same time, that's why I mentioned HBCUs are already tasked with the mission impossible. You know what I mean? They already are trying to find a way to compete and get money for these programs against programs that don't have to. You know what I mean? Athletes are just going to seamlessly walk to these top programs. Unless they find a way to cut into that a little bit, then yeah, HBCUs are going to have a tough time when it comes to relevance. So, and I feel like right now, at this point in time, getting big name head coaches is essential.
It's the move.
But at the same time, it's two aspects. Is it enough big name head coaches to go around? You know what I mean? Is
big name head coach?
Or how many ex-NFL players are there to become head coaches?
But how many NFL players want to be head coaches? Because that's something Eddie George said. He said, hey, he never even thought about that until he got the call from Tennessee State.
But see, now if that's the case, then how is that going to affect recruiting? It's like all I got to do is send Deion to your crib or Eddie George or whoever, Michael Vick. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's going to come down to just finding you a big name ex-NFL player.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then I'm considering Michael Vick. You feel me?
I would consider. You have to consider Michael. And I just think,
what's Byron Leftwich going to do out of Tampa? You know what I mean?
We know he ain't going to be the head coach in Tampa Bay.
Exactly. So, he can go be the head coach at Southern.
He came from Marshall though.
Exactly.
So, but I'm just saying, like even Southern, like a guy like Aeneas Williams, he came from Southern. But again, is that something that he wants to do? That's the biggest thing. It's like Deion. We know Deion said this is, the Lord led him here. Deion could have done anything. We saw Deion from the time he retired to.
I heard that as like an SNL skit.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm here because the Lord sent me.
Yeah, Deion had like a motivational tweet yesterday. I wish I could. I ain't gonna even search to find it, but it was classic. I was reading it in prime voice. But yeah, man, I just wish that more HBCU alums who were able to reach that pinnacle and reach their dreams of playing in the NFL would come back. And if it's not a head coach, just be an advisor.
Oh man, it would go a long way on the HBCU level of things. But honestly, the impact that Tennessee State is about to have, I don't think we should understate it. They snapped. Yeah, I mean, it's about to be a huge turnaround. I feel like you're going to see similar stuff to how we saw with Deion Sanders in the situation there. They're going to get some big name recruits. They're going to get some people that jump out of situations to come there. Because now it's competition, Deion. Now you ain't just the big dog in a little pond or whatever.
And again, like you stated, getting a job in Tennessee where he put over 10,000 yards,
everybody
numerous years of work in. They know Eddie George's background. They know Eddie George's character. They know who he is as a person.
He's home, he's at the crib.
You know what I'm saying? And then reading one of his quotes. Coaching is a full-time commitment, a duty of service. I take that seriously. I've done a lot of soul-searching and due diligence. The more I thought about it, I got more and more excited about it. It was like picking up an old guitar or getting back on a bike. It's familiar, but in a different capacity, and that's what I was saying as far as it's familiar because it's football and the plays and the aura and the team aspect, but in a different capacity. Professionals getting paid a bunch of money versus kids still learning the nuances and the techniques and the mechanics, trying to get them to be better people in society, because most of them ain't going to play professional football. And that's what Deion says. I'm about preparing my guys. Yeah, a couple of them will get the opportunity. they won't get it like guys from Georgia, Clemson, LSU, but they'll get a chance. But they're going to have to be successful men and successful people in society and in their community. So that's what I'm preparing them for. So I feel like guys like Eddie George, again, a guy who's been successful on the field, and since he's retired, being able to bring that type of stigma and aura to those kids. You know how kids look up to pro athletes, man. They think they're gods. So
I'm playing for Eddie George.
I'm playing for Eddie, especially if they came from Tennessee. Their parents.
Oh, come on.
It's a done deal. So I'm happy Eddie George.
You going to Tennessee State? It's gonna be some white people knocking on that door. It's like, I got a quarterback.
Come on, man.
Need a place to play.
Come on, man.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm happy to see Eddie George get the opportunity. It'll be great to see him. If he is gonna hire Jeff Fisher and some of his cohorts, then
because didn't we hear the same though when Dion
about
got the job?
And all them guys,
and it ended up not being like that. But I feel like Jeff Fisher, he's not coaching. You know, right now, I feel like that would be a decent move.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm sure Jeff Fisher has a lot left in him to give, and Eddie George, one of his favorite guys of all time.
Come on now.
Would
we be talking about Jeff Fisher as a coach if it wasn't for Steve McNair and Eddie George?
Exactly.
Come on.
And then
do him a solid, Steve.
So look, Randy Spann says, can Jackson State or Grambling beat Alabama or Clemson?
I feel like that's the dream. You know what I mean? That's the dream. I honestly haven't seen enough of them on the field. But I honestly feel like if you got Deion Sanders as your coach, you're not looking to be the best team at HBCU football. You're looking to be the best team in the nation.
No, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a few years. Give them a chance to fully recruit. Give them a chance to fully get their coaching staffs in order to fully be able to implement their plans and strategies into the program. Programs need money.
Oh, come on.
Facilities. It's a whole bunch of things.
Can we play Alabama and get stumped for that?
Yeah, for that
$200K.
$200. How about we play Alabama and get stumped for that $5 million?
Oh yeah. Oh what? Let's do it. Go team.
So it's coming, man. Shout out to Eddie George, and I'm looking for big things, man. It's good to see Jackson State playing on ESPN this year. I've seen them. They went from ESPN 3 to ESPN 2 to last week they were on ESPN. So that goes to show you that what big name, what adding a big name to your program can do overall. And like Boosie just said, visibility makes a difference.
It's a huge difference, and that's one of the biggest battles that HBCU faces. You know what I mean? Visibility. I mean, nobody knows when they play. You know what I mean? So, yeah, get some names over there, and we'll go from there. I'm sorry, little name coaches. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's got to be a big boys game right now.
Yeah, it's a big boys game, man. Well, they'll find their way. Hopefully, maybe some of those guys can reach out.
Oh yeah,
extend the hand, extend the olive branch. Come on, join the team. And once I'm done, it's all yours. Or maybe you can, this will spawn you.
I need a running backs coach. I need a wide receivers coach. You know what I mean?
Show what you got in there. You can move on from here. So. We all we got. You know the saying, man. We all we got. So hopefully Eddie George. And then you saw Master P's son committed to Tennessee State.
I thought that was great because I feel like anytime you put a mic in front of Master P, first of all, you're going to get some game.
Master P is one of the illest, man.
But he's raising a good kid who, at least in the interview, put the fact that, HBCUs generate pros just like the top other programs.
This is a whole different era, man. If you can play, they'll find you.
Rob Covington, what's the
Rob went to Tennessee State.
Yeah, Tennessee State. That's right, yep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Avery Johnson went to Southern.
Yeah, man.
The late great Bobby Fields went to Southern.
Yes, sir.
Walter went to Jackson State. Jerry Rice went to Mississippi Valley. These guys, Steve McNair, I told you, I went to Alcorn to watch him set records on us.
Classic. That's crazy.
So these, if you can play, they'll find you. And it's up to you to continue to grind and work hard and put the work in. And it's time, man.
The story you told me about John Moran, I've been thinking about that for a while.
Murray State?
Yeah, bro.
Isaiah Cannon, Murray State. Cam Payne, Murray State.
A point guard, a program that spits out pro guards.
Come on, bro.
Come on.
So, guys, the standard is being set, man. HBCU should definitely be on your radar. And show some love, man. Show some love, man. With these programs, they need some love too. And You never know. Down the line,
That's
3-4 years, Georgia versus Southern University. Yeah, all right. Don't think it's going to be sweet when they get these same top, 5-star recruits turning down Georgia, LSU, Alabama to go to Southern.
You know what they're going to start doing then, right? Paying the players.
Which they should be doing anyway.
Exactly.
But
like, you know what? Alabama, you can pay them more than, one of these agents. I'm trying to tell you, that's how the landscape changes. So shout out to Deion Sanders and Eddie George for shaking things up for sure.
Hey, man. The Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame class of 2020 is, I think, less than a month away.
Yeah, man.
And a couple days ago, or was it yesterday, that we saw the presenters for the class of 2020?
Yes, sir. They announced who's going to be introducing the Hall of Fame class this year, and there's some big names for sure, bro.
I see, we know Big Mike, the GOAT, will be presenting Kobe.
Yeah,
Kobe
man.
Bean. Vanessa said Kobe would have wanted Big Mike, so that's all he needed.
I feel like it's only right. And that doesn't even really describe it. It's only one person that could have did it, and it's Michael Jordan.
Period.
Man, Gino, it's crazy. I was cleaning out my phone, and of course I come across a couple of the Kobe videos we got, and it's still surreal that he's not here. And, you're talking about him being inducted into the Hall of Fame and him not being able to see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just surreal because I feel like if anybody's been a Hall of Famer in my time, it's Kobe.
And Kobe would have had the most wicked Hall of Fame
It would have
speech.
been a weekend event. It would have been a TV event. It would have been like when Mike went in. We was anticipating what Mike was going to say. It would have been the same thing. I'm sure he would have, He
would have kicked some Italian bars.
Oh, he would have been speaking in a couple different languages. I remember that one time I spoke Yugoslavian to,
to Luka. I spoke.
I looked up a few words before,
I spoke Latin to.
Yeah, man. I'm totally salty that we're not going to get that kind of bow on his basketball career that we would have got if he was here, because the speech that Mike gave was legendary. You really got a peek into his mind that we never really got to see. And the competitor that he was, it's like no wonder he was the greatest.
That's why I feel like Mike's presentation for Kobe is going to be epic, because you already know he got something in store.
Oh, Mike, I feel like with Mike, you're going to get a couple. He got that for me, y'all. Exactly. But see, now what I'm sure we're going to get is another good dose of the personal relationship between Mike and Kobe. Even as a kid, I wanted to see Mike pass the torch to Kobe. I was always looking like, oh, that's Mike's son. You know what I mean?
Mike clearly passed the torch to Kobe, though. That game when Kobe dropped 33 on the Bulls in the old school Lakers.
Yes, bro.
Mike was like, man, Joe, I'm standing at half court, and this man asking me questions about how I get up so high on my fadeaway. I'm looking at, Mike, one of them guys, like, look, man, we can do that later. But he's like, the audacity of this 18-year-old kid to be asking me these questions about the game,
for recipes
in the middle of the game, while he's actually torching us.
While we cooking up.
He said it was nothing but respect from that day on. So being that Kobe was just like a splitting image of Big Mike. Kobe was like, I think the reason Kobe was so good was because he took it up a notch, even with with technology and just growth and the way things change so fast. Mike was just a naturally gifted athlete. Mike was like ahead of his time a couple years.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously Mike put the work in. I always say you only get to see the 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Kobe was the guy. You hear all the different stories. Shannon Brown, Greg Anthony, all these different guys.
Did you hear Julius Randle?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you hear the different stories about Kobe's work ethic. So I think that's the one thing about Kobe that I don't think people understand. Why he was that good and why he's so revered and why people love him is because they saw, and this is something that I try to explain to my guys when I'm at the gym, my young homies now, and it's like when you see Dame Lillard or when you see Chris Paul been in the league 15 years, man. This is a dude who still wakes up at 5 a.m. working like he was his rookie year. You got to put the work in if you want to continue to be the best at your craft. So that was Kobe. That was Mike, and like you said, there was only one person that could present Kobe for his 2020 Hall of Fame, and that was Big Mike. But also, Big Mike is the first person to present 2 awards.
Yo, Mike is still being like, he's still getting introduced, like the first person ever to.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
But Mike is, he will be presenting Baylor coach Kim Mulkey with her Hall of Fame induction.
Epic.
Tamika Catchings, shout out to Tamika.
Man.
Presented by Alonzo Mourning and the great Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley
awesome.
was like my favorite at Virginia.
Oh, okay.
I was in love with Dawn Staley.
Oh,
basketball-wise, and I thought she was Dawn Staley. KG, Zeke
West
is
Side.
presenting KG. It's a no-brainer.
Yes. That's going to be another epic part of it.
It is.
Man.
They two wild guys. KG is so animated. I can't wait to see what he got to say when he steps up on that stage.
KG is top 3 personalities in the game for me in my lifetime. You know what I mean? You don't get somebody as fierce as KG ever.
KG was on a whole nother level, energy, and he was wired.
Oh, come on.
He was wired.
When that ball went up, you talking about a monster.
He was out of order, man. Rudy T.
Oh, yeah.
Presented by Calvin Murphy in The Dream.
Yes.
That's dope. Oklahoma State legend Eddie Sutton, presented by Coach Cal.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Self and Sidney Moncrief. Wow, Sidney Moncrief, that's a name from the past.
This is a super busing class right here. This is great.
Timmy.
Oh, yeah. And David Robinson,
of course,
his boy.
the Admiral, man. The guy that showed him the way. Showed him how to be a professional.
Immediately.
Man. Shout out to Timmy, man. Patrick Ballman, presented by Russ Granick and Vlade.
Time out, man. Kobe, KG, and Tim Duncan.
Kobe, KG, Tim Duncan,
I'm feeling old,
Tamika Catchings, Rudy T. Yeah.
Feeling old.
Yeah, man. And Barbara Stevens is presented by Gino Auriemma and Muffet McGraw. Notre Dame's
legends and legends upon legends all up and down the bill.
Yeah, this is a dope one, man. Can't wait to see this one, man. But shout out to Big Mike for reigning supreme again.
Absolutely.
Always Big Mike, man. Herb, I think I saw Herb. Let me see before my computer dies. Herb said he thinks, let me read it. Herb said, no cap, I think I'm going to cry when Jay Brown presents the Mamba.
Come on, man. When I saw it yesterday, I kind of pictured myself on the couch having to keep it together. I'm like, nah, I'm going to keep it cool, G. I'm going to have my Kobe's on. You know, I'm going to celebrate the Mamba, but Herb, I feel you, bro. It's hard to even think about without kind of getting emotional, you know?
I'm with y'all on that one, man. It's going to take us back, you know. And the fact that, like you said, the fact that Kobe is still kind of wild,
man,
to know that he ain't here. That he was kind of just getting started with what was next for him.
Yeah, man, his second act. And then at the same time, it's still surreal that, that MJ is, we still got MJ.
Come on, man.
To come and deliver this for us.
Big Mike. Big Mike, man.
That's what I'm over. You see, I'm over here shaking. I'm feeling it's like, man, oh man, that's gonna be a hell of a moment.
Big Mike, Joe. But look,
Gino, where you headed, man?
Man, I gotta get out of here, man. I hate to
you gotta dip.
To bone out on my people like this, but man, like Boosie said, I am on my way to Wrigley Field. Hopefully the brothers can get it together because they're huff right now.
I saw a no-hitter. My bad, Josh.
Carlos Rodon. Shout out to Carlos Rodon. I think we need to shed more light on that. We'll get back on that Monday.
Yeah, because
this
is
is
talk
something
about it for a while.
Yeah, this is something that's going to be remembered forever. Carlos Rodon, we've seen his struggles over the last few years.
But yeah, Gino.
Great outing by that guy.
Unfortunately, it's still they split the series with Cleveland.
That game yesterday.
They're 6 and 7. You know what I mean? That's not where you want to be if you're the White Sox. But Gino, the Cubs are back in town, and it's like you said, the story of the year is the same boat.
Yeah, the same old boat. The Atlanta Braves are in town. They won their game last night.
Get to go see Acuna Jr.
Looking like the NL MVP this year. Ronald Acuna Jr., Freddie Freeman. What's Albies what's his first name? Can't think his first name.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Atlanta Braves, man, they're in town for a 3-game set. First pitch 120. I am on my way to Wrigley Field. The Cubs could easily be 1 and whatever right now, but luckily they had some pretty good pitching to start the season. So Zach Davies is on the bump today. And it's always a beautiful day at Wrigley. It's probably going to be somewhere around the mid-40s. You know how that is up on the north side. But being at the ballpark is nothing like it. So I am on my way. We're going to cut out.
It's damn April cold, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm going to cut out a little bit early. But you know we are not getting out of here today without the word of the day. My mama is on me in the chat. She said, I need my word of the day.
Drop it on us, Professor Gino.
Ron Rilla, are you listening, man? Today's word of the day, confrere.
Confrere, okay.
C-O-N-F-R-E-R-E, confrere. It's a noun. Its origin is French, and it's mid-18th century.
I was going to say, is this like the French? Are we
Contraire, mon frere.
Yeah, go ahead.
What does that even mean, though?
It just sounds good.
Ron Rilla, did you take... Okay.
He like, hell.
Hey, man. My confrere.
Okay.
A fellow member of a profession. A colleague.
Oh, yeah. Thank you to our confrere, Maze Jackson, for joining the show and sharing his thoughts on the topic of today.
Thank you to our confrere, the great Ron Rilla behind the boards, doing all the hard work.
The producer.
And our confreres in this comment section.
Real family.
Always holding us down, man. We appreciate you guys, man. It is the Bigs.
Yes.
You are on the soil with the brothers. We appreciate y'all rocking out with us today. We will be back here Monday at approximately 11 a.m. Up next, we got the Gods. We got the Brenothers.
Yes.
The Brenoskis.
The guys,
Cousin
man.
2, Herb Howard. I said what I said. Monday through Friday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yep.
1 to 3 p.m. on the What's in It for the Black People Media Network. I said what I said. Y'all stay tuned with the brothers while I take myself to the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. So with that being said, man, we up out of here. Shout out to the family members. We appreciate y'all. For myself, for my player partner, T-Time, Ron Rilla, Maze Jackson. Y'all know what we do, man. Show love, spread love. Stay away from the haters. Circulate the dollar with your people, man. Y'all see me, man, rocking the Sir Madam hoodie. I got the Sir Madam sweatpants on.
Come on, man.
Circulating the dollar with my family members.
We all we got,
we got, man. Keep it player, man. Always, always keep it player. The unplayer individuals are running rampant out here, y'all, making the brothers look bad. And my last word of the day, in the words of the late, great Chad Butler, known to most of y'all as Pimp C.
The Pimp.
Get off the boo-boo. We out.
It's us.
WIIFTBP.
Better. Traffic jam fan. You know it. I'm from the middle of the map. I get around. I've been there and back. Born in Gary, Indian, just to be exact. Got family in the go and family in the nap. Same shit everywhere, saw it in the A out on old Nat. Sucker free suckers can't take the heat, nah they gon' rap. Big dumb cats, big guns clap. Another brother dead, another mother son lack. I'm from the era where the niggas did scrap. Seen the same person shot with 2 different straps. You don't want this, now you don't want that. Tired of fuck shit, wanna take a nap. I'm a dog on these chicks, just a different cat. Must make at least a M to make an impact. May just paint the Benz matte black. Fresh head to toe, never wore socks that didn't match. Cause